The power sweep actually is the lead play in our offense.
Tell the tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man to his inside. Pull back and tell him, take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one goes. Go right by them and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. You can find me on Twitter at Packers_access. If you want to email the show, you can reach us at PackersTotalAccess@gmail.com. You can text the show at 865-658-5824. I'm joined alongside Tim, live in Green Bay. We got Emilio in Redneckville, USA, the great state of Tennessee. And we're just on here to talk a little Packers tonight, and more specifically a little Packers Steelers preview. And I got to be honest, man, the more I dig into it, me and Emilio were talking a little bit offline. Tim, the more I dig into it, man, I don't think I think we've got a shot here, man. I mean, let's just put it this way. We're going to break down everything, all the matchups, personnel, 11 to nickel, 12 to base, all that stuff. But when you really look at it, you go, okay, what's Pittsburgh's strength? It's their pass rush, hands down, right? That's the identity of their team. Well, it just so happens our quarterback has been pressured less than every other quarterback in the league other than Tua Tagovailoa. So, I don't know, on the surface, Tim, and it seems like it matches up pretty well. But how was your day, buddy? And what do you think about what I just said? Am I off my rocker here already?
No, I think you're spot on. I mean, I guess one could argue, how many elite pass rushes have we faced this year? But that's not to say Pittsburgh has an elite pass rush, but I guess they're pretty close. I mean,
I'd say
I've heard that TJ Watt fella knows how to play football. So, no, I don't think you're off at all. But I will tell you this: it feels good to have an offensive line that has its own struggles, but the one thing they do well is pass pro. So, I mean, this whoever started the ball rolling with the comments of this is the first real test. Pretty accurate, I think. I mean, This is certainly the biggest test for this offensive line thus far, and this will give us a good barometer, man. If we're, we talk about could we make the playoffs? Are we a bubble team? This kind of thing. Well, this game will give us a good indicator of that, and also of even if we do see ourselves in the playoffs, can we hang with, top tier pass rushing and, really compete? So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting game, but I think you're spot on, Clayton. I really do.
Yeah, it's funny you kind of teed it up for me. I was talking to Emilio offline, and man, Twitter's a wild place. Let me tell you. All I'm doing is sharing other tweets of very popular Twitter accounts that are simply pointing out the Packers are a top 10 defense, and my God, they come from the woodworks, boy. And I was just informed on Twitter by someone who follows me, who said that we're not allowed to acknowledge whether this defense is good or not until week 13 when we play the Chiefs. Like, there's only 5 weeks left in the season at that point, and we're not allowed to talk about the defense until week 13. Yeah. I was telling Emilio, I'm like, I point out that Jordan Love has struggled. Oh, you need to give him time. Okay, all right, we won't talk about it. I point out that Jordan Love had his best game. Oh, it's just one game. Okay, we won't talk about it. We got a top 10 defense in points. Oh, that's deceiving. Well, the top 10 defense in yards.
And this person's a Packer fan?
Yeah, that's right. What blows my mind, bro.
Right.
It's like, what? I never in a million years would have thought that people were so gung-ho to talk bad about their favorite team. And listen, if there's something bad to talk about, I got you. I'm guilty of that too, right? If you see it, you got to say it. But boys, come on. When you find a couple positives in a crappy season and you're just like, no, don't give us any glimmer of hope. We're just going to be miserable and be miserable together. But that's kind of
that's it.
society.
Life's too short. We only got 17 games, and then it's gone half the year. And you're telling me we're getting mad about when they're actually playing, when we actually get to see them every Sunday? Come on now.
It's crazy. When you're not sitting in a wooden chair, right? Sitting in a wooden chair at B-Dubs, paying too much. And Amelia, I wish I still had that quote up here. Oh, my God.
Too much.
And it's off the ticker now. I screwed up and deleted it. I'll never be able to replicate it, but
That'll be all right.
we'll put the ticker up. That's a good reminder.
Oh,
I spend too much money sitting on a wooden chair watching this team lose on a 30-inch TV from 20 feet away.
Brutal. Man. Absolutely brutal.
Let's do this. Let's kick this off. We're going to talk about the injury report and everything here in a second, but let's start off with a little Packers Daily. They did a little 2-minute preview of the game. And, of course, you can find this for free over at Packers.com. You can find it on their YouTube channel. You can also see it on their Twitter page. Go give them a like, retweet it, show some love. Love when they put these videos together, but here we go. Let's check it out.
Here's the snap to Jordan Love. Rush on, has time. Rainbows, right side. Watson leaping back. He's got it.
You know, where we're at in this season, I think it's huge for us to keep it going. I think we got to find a way to just try to go 1-0, every single week for the rest of the season. I mean, we got to do everything that we can to try to win this week. We just got to do whatever we can. We got to find a way.
Sunday's road clash in Pittsburgh means a matchup with the Steelers' dynamic pass rushing duo of T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith. This game-wrecking pair has combined for 20 sacks over their last 10 home games, teaming up for 5 forced fumbles and 2 defensive touchdowns during that span. Watt leads the AFC in sacks this season and shows no sign of slowing down.
He's getting some picks, he's getting some forced fumbles, he's recovering those, so I think he's a playmaker. He's a ball hawk, he's looking for the ball at all times. But I mean, that's their defense. I think they do a good job of creating some chaos and getting those turnovers.
They're big, strong, physical, and they made plays, when it matters most. A lot of turnovers that they create or takeaways on the defensive side of the ball. They've got a lot of game wreckers up front, and we're going to have to do a great job with them.
Meanwhile, Jordan Love is coming off a game in which he completed a season-best 77% of his passes while recording a triple-digit rating and, most importantly, no giveaways.
Musgrave 10, the end zone, touchdown, and a dagger.
We're continuing to build every week and just trying to get this thing going where it's just consistent performance every week, where we're just continuing to lock in and focus on the plays, focus on our details, and just going out there and executing. But I think we're moving in the right direction for sure.
Love it. Tim, first initial thoughts off that video there, man. It's exactly what we talked about, right? Alex Highsmith, you got T.J. Watt. Going to be a tough one, but again, you notice he didn't mention their offense much in that video because they're Dookie, right? I mean, they're solid Dookie. Well, runny Dookie. I don't know, some kind of Dookie. But anyway, Tim, what do you think?
That's a great point. I hope our defense doesn't take that for granted and they keep their foot on the gas. But yeah, offensively, man, we've got to account for a hell of a pass rush. And I tell you, those few snaps we saw Sean Ryan, he looked pretty good there, moving bodies, as Mike Wall would say. They're in the business of moving bodies. And I don't know, maybe we might see a little bit of him if necessary, but it may take all hands on deck to deal with this front. And really Pittsburgh's D as a whole, they've got a good defense. So it's going to be a tough game, but I'm excited for this because this is like, in my opinion, it's perfect timing how this schedule kind of played out. We're coming off a get right win at home. Now it's back to reality. Get on the plane, get on the road, play a tough team in their building. A place you haven't won in, well over 50 years. We haven't escaped Pittsburgh with a win. So, yeah, man, this is going to be the test right here, And I was one of the first people who thought, oh man, all hope is lost once we lost to Denver, for crying out loud.
Yeah, me too.
But now, it's funny because other teams across this league lost games that they shouldn't have. We watched the 49ers drop 2 in a row to subpar opponents. So any given Sunday applies, and I just hope this team is ready to fire on all cylinders, especially our offensive line, because that will be the X factor. If we play like stir-fried booty on Sunday, it's going to be ugly really quick. I mean, really quick. We've already seen how ugly it can look when we can't move the ball. And if we're seeing Jay Love actually getting pressured on top of that, it's going to be a problem. So, hopefully the boys are ready to go Sunday.
Definitely. Let's go to the chat here real quick. Want to give a shout out to everybody. It's loaded in here tonight. We got Omar in the chat. We got Jake K, Zane Strong, Jeff Schultz, Robert Allen, Dr. Microb. Let's see. We've got golly, there's a bunch of people in here. We're gonna have to just kind of start midway through, guys. We got Larry in the house. Appreciate you swinging through, Larry. Goose in here. Good stuff. Josh Martin
in there.
Yeah. Let's just kind of pick up about halfway through. Yeah, there's Jake Shavink in the house. What's up, big dog? Number one Packer fan, Cheesehead Murph, Boz. Too many to mention, man. I hate the day is coming where we can't do this anymore, man. I don't ever want anybody to think that we don't appreciate them.
Boz is watching us in the Disney line. I saw that.
Was he really?
Yeah. He's waiting in line at Disney and watching us.
I love it. Jeff Schultz in the chat says, "Yeah, wow, crazy fans talking about telling me what I'm allowed to talk about. You know, that type of thing." Let's see. There was something down here I wanted to hit on. Right here, this one hits home for me, Emilio. Goose said, people mad the team actually showed they can play well. Shaking my head.
Right. They're mad because they're not getting that number one draft pick.
Omer says a Ray Nitschke quote here, Packer fans are nuts. I would believe that's probably a legit quote, too, in a good way, of course. All right, here we go. Let's talk about this. Jake Shavink says the Watson game is coming, either against Pittsburgh or L.A. Emilio. Yeah. You know, when you look at it, let's just go ahead and pull it up since Jake started this little topic here. Let's kind of look at the matchups real quick. Okay, let's start with our offense since we're talking about Christian Watson, right? In our 12 look, okay, I'm going to take that off for just a second. Jake, thank you for the comment, buddy. So when you look at the matchups here, I'll try to read them off to you. Let's key in on the wide receivers, okay? The wide receiver matchup. I love when Tim's camera goes off. That means he's doing this.
Yeah.
I love it. So when we look you're good, man. Keep it off. So as far as their secondary, they got Joey Porter Jr., right? On the other side, you got Peterson. Peterson's a 54.2. Joey Porter's grading out at about a 71.3. So Peterson obviously be the side that you would want to pick on. As far as safeties, you've got, I think you say Kazi or Kazi at a 64.0, and you got Neal at a 63.6. So when you look at their secondary outside of Joey Porter Jr., which I think we'd all agree is showing he's going to be a really, really good NFL cornerback, they got kind of a weak secondary. They really do. Now they get after you with the pass rush, obviously, Emilio. But what do you think, man? This might be the game that Watson could do what Jake Shavink's talking about, maybe get over the top a little bit. And I think the biggest way that you can do that, the quickest way you can get into that secondary on deep bombs, got to come out and establish the run as much as possible against a good defense, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Got to establish the run. When I was watching a little bit, I picked the Steelers Ravens game earlier to watch, and watching the defense there, it looked like sometimes they went into single high. And if Love gets single high, he, just like how Kenny Pickett was saying, if he's got single coverage with Pickens running up the side or one safety over the top, throw that ball. Because even in that, I think it was the Vikings game, you saw him get by, or no, it was just last game. You saw Christian get by the corner. He's still got the speed. It's like he is literally just a ball of energy that is extremely fast. So let's get him the ball. Let's get him some space. One thing that did hit home was Highsmith. That was one of their 8 picks, I think, that they have on defense. And he's an edge rusher. Sometimes they drop into coverage. I don't know. That happens in a 3-4 defense.
No. I was told Bill Berry. Bill Berry's the only one that does that.
Yeah. But I mean, look, they have solid edges. All right, we're gonna have to play well. Their inside is a possibility for us if we do a little, tight inside zone. It looked like they had a little bit of trouble with the read option. It is Lamar Jackson, but even if we throw a couple of those in there just to get them to think about it, maybe one of those could finally break for Love and he actually used those legs on it. But besides that, I want to see Watson get over the top and let's work Musgrave up the seam again. I like that look.
Yeah, definitely. I love Dr. Meekrop says, quote, stir fry booty. I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Take it out.
I was saying, Tim, what do you think? You think Watson can get behind the defense this week, man?
I do, but I also my brain kind of goes to, okay, so heavy pass rush, a weaker secondary is bailed out by a good pass rush. I almost wonder when you're staring down the barrel of Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs and, are they going to play off ball more, and they're gonna give that room. I'm almost wondering if underneath and in the middle of the field's gonna be wide open, and we start sending Scoot on those, posts or crossers or slants and getting him the ball in space early and letting him, extend down the field. But certainly, yeah, the matchup against Porter Jr. is going to be great. What a cool story too for him, going to his pop's team like that, and being a Steeler. So I really think that's just kind of a cool backstory, and getting to see him go against our young and up and coming receiver is going to be fun. But Scoot is due for one of them games, and I'm glad Jake brought that up, because I was thinking about this earlier. Like, this is about the time last year, I believe, that we started to see the ascent of Christian Watson. We were about week 7, week 8 in the season, and we saw a lot less drops. We saw better routes. So maybe the same is true this year. Maybe he has a heck of a game and gets it going.
Yeah, definitely. Omer in the chat says, I believe 2 keys to the game: control TJ Watt and run the dang ball again. Make sure Jones has it at least 24 touches. Again, Love, no turnovers. Turnover differential is going to be absolutely huge in this
That
game.
is going to be the biggest factor, 100%. I think they're +9. They've had 8 interceptions and 8 forced fumbles. They are a turnover machine. We have to protect the ball. Everyone's got to hold on to it.
Definitely.
I don't know how well anyone can control TJ Watt.
Right.
Yes, that's going to be a bit. But I think what Omer's trying to say is that's the way to attempt to do that, is by running the ball.
Definitely.
And, that's how you get your O-line going, right? Get some run blocking, get out there and shove someone. And then when that pass rush comes, be on your toes, be ready to go. So,
yeah, definitely. That's one way that you can keep them from rushing up the field 100 mile an hour, right? Especially you start pounding some of that inside zone and then run some boot action off of it too. TJ's such a smart player. He's just like, I think he's better than his brother. I really do. But Josh Martin, thank you for the super chat. He says, I think Jair is going to be out. Pass rush is key. Let's look at the injury report real quick. We'll come back to the PFF setup here for sure. So the most recent injury report, and again, Josh, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. We appreciate it. So Jair Alexander did not participate yesterday or today. Obviously, it's the shoulder injury now. You guys remember the shoulder last year, not looking good there. Kenny Clark limited both days. I think he'll probably go. Rudy Ford limited with the calf injury. I think he'll probably go. Elton Jenkins limited with the knee. He'll probably go, barring any setbacks, of course. Aaron Jones limited with the hamstring again. I think he'll go. Josh Myers with the knee. He was not listed on Wednesday and then was limited on Thursday. Good chance he probably goes. Yosh Nijman, of course, he started the game. He got hurt. Rashid came in, played really well. They both played well, actually. He's limited today when he did not participate yesterday. John Runyon limited, did not participate yesterday. And Quay Walker with the groin did not participate. Looking bad for Quay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you, Josh. I'd say Jair's probably not playing in this game. We're probably going without Quay again. Then, of course, Christian Watson with the back injury where he got the wind knocked out of him. He's full participation. One of the things that they mentioned right here, too, I got to go ahead and bring it up. Jake Shavink said Hayward not playing would be a big deal, but Benton is super quick to get around blocks up front. However, the susceptibility, man, those big words. Why do y'all do that to me?
Man, you nailed that, Clayton. That was perfect.
Dude, you kidding me, man? I've been digging out the old VHS of Reading Rainbow, bro. I'm ready to roll here.
Well, it helps when you spell it correctly, too. So shout out to Jake for spelling it correctly.
I would have never got that right. You know what I do at my old age, boys? I type in the first 4 or 5 letters and just put it gibberish together, look for the red squiggly line, right click it. Bang, we're in.
Bam. Or he hits the mic button and just tries to speak it into there.
When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to go to school. You don't have to learn anything. So he said susceptibility to big plays on the ground might be there. Kind of, you correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but kind of what I've talked about with Devontae Wyatt, how he gets a little bit out of his lane, a little bit out of control. Great pass rusher, but against the run, a little bit weak. Kind of sounds like the same type of deal there. But, yeah, I'm with you. I know Hayward isn't grading out great this year, if I remember correctly. Let's go back to it real quick with the 12. Only a 61.1, but still it's Hayward, right? And that dude – Y'all want to hear a funny story? I was in a Madden league about, it was probably 5 years ago.
Dude, those were great.
Oh, yeah. The online franchise league, right? I was in one about 5 years ago. And the guy who ran it messaged me and said, you ain't going to believe this, dude. And I'm like, what? He said, He said, Cam Hayward is wanting to join our league. And I was like, dude, this guy's catfishing you, boy. You lost your mind. Bro, it was legit. It was him. And he was in the league for about 3 weeks, didn't play any games, and we didn't boot him because it was Hayward, right?
Right.
It wasn't like we were in there hanging out with an NFL player playing. It was just crazy that he looked up leagues on the message boards. Ours was really, really popular. And sure enough, man, he climbed in there. It was funny. But anyway, that's crazy. So, yeah, Hayward, even though he's having a down year, I would rather him be out of the lineup too, Jake. But, yeah, when we look at 11 personnel, take a glance over there real quick. And you guys call them out if you see them, okay? If you see anybody on this that obviously is on the injury report that I'm overlooking, let me know. I think Runyon needs to sit. I don't want that neck getting hurt, man. Like, sit down this week, Runyon. You're okay at 53.2. Listen, man, we'll do it without you. All right, go take you a breather. Let's see what Sean Ryan's got. That's how I feel. But 11 personnel, the big thing that changes, you're bringing in Reed as opposed to obviously Kraft at the tight end position or DeGuara. I hope they stay in 11 because look at their slot corner there, guys. Peterson slides to the slot. Wallace that plugs in. 50.6 for Wallace, 54.2 for Peterson. If you run some wide splits, man, lighten that box a little bit. That interior defensive line struggling, especially if Hayward's out. Tim, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I agree. And I get excited just looking at this too because, we got Dobbs, Reed, Scoot. Well, we were talking about Tay Wicks earlier today.
Yeah, Wicks too, man.
Be real nice to see him out there, especially in the 11th set, right? I think this is going to be great. It's funny, looking at that injury report, I almost think the Minkah Fitzpatrick being out is going to have more of an effect on this Pittsburgh defense. If that's true, I'm assuming he's out, right? He's definitely not going to play. He did not participate as well.
Who's that?
Minkah Fitzpatrick for Pittsburgh. I was looking at that. I think he was on that injury report.
Yeah, let's check it out one more time. I definitely overlooked that. Let's see. Because that's huge too, man. What a great pickup that was. Oh my God, when they got him. Let's see. Yeah, Minkah did not participate. Hamstring. Yeah, probably.
Is that all they have? Is 4? That's all they're under.
That's it.
Yep,
wow, and it's all on the defense too.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a great point by Jake too. It's like Cam Hayward is not who he was a few seasons ago, but you still have to account for that.
Absolutely.
That type of and Montrevious Adams, he's a contributor to that defense in his own way. So they're missing pieces. But seeing Minkah Fitzpatrick out, that made me think of that. We were just talking about Watson getting over the top. Well, there's one less safety to worry about for sure.
Right.
But yeah, man, going in 11 though, I agree with you, Clayton. I'd like to see, heavy dose of that. I think that's going to favor us in this matchup against this defense. And, we have to put ourselves in a position to succeed, and we can't take this for granted because if we shoot ourselves in the foot, if we don't have the right personnel on the field, if we're not communicating, if we're making stupid false start penalties, things like that, we're going to get exposed and get it handed to us by this defense if we're not careful, especially like we talked about the pass rush. And, we can talk about TJ Watt all day about the pass rush. I mean, he does other things too on defense. We got to account for him in a lot of respects, even if he's not running right at our quarterback. So,
yeah, definitely. This was John Runyon earlier today. To me, he's looking more and more like he's going to go. Obviously, I've just spliced together some practice picks here. You'll see a few different people, but
he could be worried about losing his spot to Ryan.
Hey, I'm telling you, dude, I would be right. I mean,
he should be. He should be. We saw enough.
Pip, man.
That's it. But going back to that 11 personnel with against the Steelers there, the thing I'm worried about is leaving our left tackle a one-on-one against I forgot his name already. 56, their other edge rusher.
Highsmith, right?
Highsmith. He's the 12th overall in the league. So I mean, they got 2 elite pass rushers right now. We got to be ready for that. If we go into 11, we're going to need a chip. We're going to need a slide. The offensive line has to play well. The game always starts in the trenches, offense and defense. It's a big one this week too.
Definitely. You see Aaron Jones here. I'm looping it for a reason. Hammy's looking good, right? I think we're good to go there. I think you're going to get the best version of Aaron Jones that you've gotten all year long. I really believe that. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Really want to see his grades pick up, obviously, but again, when you look at 11, that final time there, whether it's Josh or Rasheed Walker, they're going to have their hands full. As much as I want to see 11, what you're probably going to see is a lot of chipping, which means you'll probably see a lot of 12. You'll probably see a lot of 12 doubles, right? A little doubles tight action, that type of thing. It's probably what we'll have, I would imagine. Let's see what Jake said here. Had a couple comments. He said shot play chances are there if they can buy Jordan an extra second, especially on the interior. Watson, Reed, or Musgrave. I would love to see Musgrave get loose. And when you look at kind of how this defense lines up here too, try to take advantage of Alexander, right? Try to take advantage of him at the inside linebacker position. Obviously, I think that's Landon Roberts out there, still playing pretty good football. I think he came over from the Patriots. If it wasn't last year, the year before. Landon Roberts has always been a pretty solid linebacker. There's no doubt about that. Omar getting a shot in here. Said, anyone teach DeWara how to block this week? I sure hope so. And then Jake said, there it is right there. Landon Roberts is their downhill guy as well. Great run defender, weaving, running through traffic. Man, he was a lot of fun to watch when I was kind of keeping up with New England there for sure. So let's see what Goose says here in the chat. Most teams don't have two good corners, so going to 11 personnel makes a lot of sense. When, as Jake says, we have Watson, Musgrave, Reed, Dobbs, Wicks, Jones, who can catch. Dillon is dangerous in space. Yeah, I'm eager to see what they do, man. It's going to be more of a test for this offense than the defense, obviously. Like I was informed on the Twitter earlier that we won't know till week 13 if we have a decent defense or not. So really looking forward to that. I don't want it to get here that quick, but I am looking forward to it. Let's do this real quick. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball, and then we'll kind of talk about just the game summary and everything. So this is our base defense against their 12 look, all right? Obviously, let's look at their weaknesses first of all. If you're a defensive coordinator, you know this offense is struggling. How do you get to the quarterback? How do you blow up the run? Where are their weak spots? Where can you put an extra hat in a strength, right? From left to right, Moore Jr. at left tackle, 45.9. Left guard, 65.8 in Samalo. Cole at center, 48.9. We're in here complaining about Josh Myers, right? I'm leading the charge. Yeah. My goodness, man. He's looking like an all-pro compared to their center. Right?
Yeah, we'll take Josh.
Yeah, 48.9. Daniels, 65.9. And then at right tackle, you got Jones at a 64.3. Not a great offensive line by no stretch of the imagination, but what it looks like to me, right up the middle in that A gap, try to overload that center. You'll probably get some of those odd looks. You'll get some of those isolation looks. So look for some pressure off the left side. You've seen it last week. 2 weeks ago, Preston Smith absolutely dominated. He may be having another big game here. At the tight end position, nothing great. You've got Hayward at 53.5, then you got Washington at 48.6. Of course, at wide receiver, everybody loves Pickens. I'm not a big fan. And then you got, of course, Johnson, who's a stud at 81.0 on the outside. So if Jair does not go, I think you kind of give your quarters look, your spinner look, but load the box. Make Kenny Pickett beat you deep. That would be my goal here on defense. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got Najee Harris back there too. So I mean, he's obviously having a down year, much like Aaron Jones, but still, that's a bruiser of a back.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man. I want to see the stunts and twists. I want to see us given that offensive line all that it can handle, honestly. And yeah, I fully expect Preston Smith to eat, as they say. He's going to eat on Sunday, and it'll be good to see. And as far as make them beat us deep. I think our young corners are going to do fine against these receivers. Personally, I really do. And I actually almost welcome that challenge. I want to see them face that head up. Be in a situation where it's just you and your guy, or maybe you do have a little safety help over the top. That's fine. Just don't get beat for that explosive play, and then that'll help us a lot, because we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we let a struggling offense move the ball on us because we're not doing our job, And so you're right. We got to attack that left side of that line, and we got to attack the A gap. We got to attack the middle too. But I think I like our front against this line. I think it'll be a nice trench warfare on Sunday for us Packer fans.
Definitely. What do you think, Emilio? What pops out to you? Obviously, Kenny Clark having a down year there. Look at Devondre Campbell popping. Preston Smith having a great year now. Really turned it on last few games. Rashawn Gary playing solid. Even with the penalty, the low grade, the last couple games, still a 77.6. He's due for a bounce back game too.
Oh, definitely.
Back in the 80s.
Definitely. And with our base D, we really need to bring the pressure with 5. If we're bringing the 5, they need to bring it. They need to stay in their run lanes. It has to happen because if not, they can spring it. And even if I was telling you earlier, Washington, if he's not in there, they're probably going to run Warren. Warren, I think, the backs, the number 30.
He's a solid back. Yeah.
Yep. Well, 5'8", 215, bowling ball, really good balance. Simone Biles' balance being kind of balanced. That kid doesn't want to fall over. All right, he can dismount and land it. All right, better than Zach Tom can. But really the key is going to, like Tim was saying, in the trenches. We set it, we go. And if Jaw's out, Valentine will probably be. Actually, we got Johnson. Valentine wants Pickens from that, from that interview, but
I'd like to see it. Hey,
yeah, we got to hold it down.
Yeah, and to me, what I've noticed too, and I think it's another reason that Jair played a little bit better last week. Rasul typically played from the offense's perspective, right? He played on the left side. You notice that, and Ja would play on the right. Well, last week you had Valentine on the right, Ja on the left for the most part, right? And to me, I think that's probably the best spot. Valentine, you can tell his left eye is dominant, right? Like he's one of those corners that a lot of people don't think about this stuff, but it's absolutely. I learned it from Greg Cosell, talking about which eye is dominant, which side you want to be able to flip to, right?
Right.
I'm sure when you guys played football in the backyard, there was one side that you caught the ball better on, right? And that all that comes into play. So, with Valentine though, I think you'll see this setup. That's the thing too, like. The people that were doing victory laps over trading Rasul Douglas and the defense rebounded, Jair played out of his mind, right? What if he doesn't go this week? So who's playing boundary on that side, right? And again, people that are saying, oh, it didn't affect the locker room and making fun of people that mention that it might, it never affects the locker room when you're winning, right? So that's the one thing you got to look out for. But I'm assuming. I mean, who would it be, Tim? Would it be Valentine on the opposite side? Who would be the other boundary, bro?
I believe right now, because we don't have Stokes. I mean, Stokes we're pretty much writing him off for the year at this point, right?
Yeah, I would, just to kind of play it safe for sure.
Yeah, not get our hopes up that we might see a return. So yeah, it looks like Valentine, right?
Yeah. Isn't it amazing you went from a strength of your team to now it's your extremely shallow,
Right. But, and maybe in the long run it did help Ja. Maybe looking back on it, Rasul was holding Ja back because of that dominant eye. Maybe he does play better on the other side. And we'll see that at the end of the year if it keeps happening. But in the meantime.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying in the meantime, if he doesn't go, we could be running, it could run into a buzzsaw. That could be the failure point on this defense, and we just don't know it.
Yeah. I was just thinking that the player that came to mind was Ennis Gaines. Ennis Gaines is kind of I believe a corner safety hybrid. So he might be in case of emergency, break glass and pull lever, insert into whatever role we need. He didn't get a lot of action last week. But yeah, as our needs change in the secondary, sometimes roles and responsibilities have to change too. And it can be especially difficult to do that with a young team. So, and especially with veteran leaders that are out. So it's an uphill battle there. But yeah, my first gut reaction would be Valentine would be your boundary, your other boundary corner here.
Right. All we need him to do is hold him for 3 seconds and get that pass rush and we'll be all right. That's what we need to shoot for.
Right. Like, nobody expects you to be an all-pro right away. Just don't be a liability out there. Just don't get roasted all day.
I don't need Revis Island. I just need
schematically sound play.
Yeah. Coverage.
Yeah. Coverage and no stupid holding, no illegal contact, understand what your 5-yard bump zone is, understand, the sideline is your friend. Understand that that's another defender for you. And, play with your feet and your brain and keep your hands where they're supposed to be.
And that's it.
I think they'll be all right.
Brain's key, man. Let's hope that they processed it like Valentine did. They got to use their head in this defense. They got to know what coverage they're switching to. They got to see that stuff.
Yep.
All great points. Dr. Meecrop says Smith and Gary are going to feast. I think it's teed up for it, man. I will say this. The last couple of weeks, what I've noticed on tape is I especially last week, it felt like they didn't really pin their ears back. It was almost like one of those games. Hey, don't get fooled on the play action. Okay. Don't get fooled on the play, or don't get fooled by trying to assume it's play action. Play the run first and foremost. We're not worried about Rip and beating us. I think that's why we didn't get after the quarterback as much. That's just me personally. Of course, Gary had that one sack, but it got called back because of the penalties. So that's kind of what Omer talks about here. That pass rush hasn't gotten home in 3 games pressure yet. Yes, but no sacks. Really disappointed in pass rush with a deep room right now yet. And that's what I'm kind of seeing on tape, Omer, is I feel like it was somewhat part of the idea going in to stop the run, but I could be wrong. I could be overlooking that too. Jake Shavink in the chat says, would love this to be a Slayton game along with a Wyatt Gary one. Yeah, I mean, they've got a weak offense, right, Jake? Let's dominate, man. Let's dominate on that side of the ball, because we know their defense is going to give our offense fits. It's just a matter of, can we out scheme them? That's what it's going to come down to, for sure. So.
I can't wait to watch TJ going up against their center there. That'll be must see TV right there for sure.
Definitely. Dr. Meecrop says Ford, Nixon, Val, talking about Valentine and Owens, or was Ford still iffy? Let's go back one more time because I can't remember anything. Let's see. Rudy Ford, limited with the calf. I feel good about him playing. I could be wrong, but I don't know. The vibe I get is it wasn't that bad, and they were being really, really, cautious last week. But then again, the defense came out and played pretty well, right? It was against a bad offense and a bad quarterback. But this week we're going up against a bad offense. So if he has to sit, I don't feel horrible about Owens and Ford again, right? I'm not sorry, not Ford, but Owens and Anthony Johnson Jr. again. So good stuff. Let's see. There was another chat here I wanted to hit on. Where was it at? Maybe I already got it. Let's see what Chad Inc. says. Let's hope the pass rush gets home this week. If Jair is out, that will help Valentine out a lot. Yeah, pressure pick, coverage sack, right, man? That's what it's always about. Let's go to the summary real quick, okay? This was the PFF summary of the game. And they just kind of lay everything out. If I can find it, surely I've got it on here. If I don't, I am going to be so mad. There it is. Bang. All right, here we go. So PFF summary. Obviously, it's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff in Pittsburgh, 48 degrees and broken clouds right now is the forecast. It's going to be on CBS. Overall power rank, okay? They have the Green Bay Packers 19th, the Steelers 16th, so pretty closely matched there, right? The defense, look at that. The Packers have an 11th ranked power ranking on defense, and the Steelers are 17th. Does PFF not know it's not week 13 yet? So, power ranking on offense, the Packers are 20th, the Steelers are 14th. Okay, so according to PFF and the way they grade out, they feel like they have the slight edge on offense. Strength of schedule played, of course, Green Bay 28th. Pittsburgh's played a tougher schedule at 15th, so you got to kind of take that into account. Average offensive snaps, we're getting 65.4. They're getting 62.1. Percentage run plays, we're running the ball 38% of the time. They're running it 37.7% of the time, and this is almost a mirror, guys. EPA per run, that's expected per average. Negative 0.15 for Green Bay, negative 0.11 for Pittsburgh. I mean, really, really close. EPA per pass, 0.02 for the Packers, negative 0.10 for the Steelers. We have the advantage in the passing game, of course, like we all talked about. You're going to have to hold up there at the point of attack. Now, when it comes to PFF grades for the quarterbacks, Jordan Love, 68.4, Kenny Pickett, 67.9. Their passer rating with a clean pocket, Jordan Love's passer rating is 91.1 when he's not being pressured. Kenny Pickett is 83.8. Passer rating under pressure, Jordan Love's drops all the way down to 51.4, although we all seen he's very, very seldomly pressured. If the ball comes out on time, you should be good. Kenny Pickett, 77.6 under pressure, definitely better under pressure than Jordan. Big time throw percentage, 2.8% for Jordan Love, 3% for Kenny Pickett. Turnover worthy play percentage, 2.5% for Jordan Love, 2.2% for Kenny Pickett. Power rating 1.0 as opposed to Kenny Pickett's 2.0. Power rating rank 23rd for Jordan Love, and Kenny Pickett is 19th. Anything stick out to you there, Tim?
Yeah, I almost wonder if there's any logic to this thought as we see that Pickett's slightly better than Jay Love when under pressure. I'm almost wondering if there's logic to that approach where you don't push the issue too much with your pass rush, because can't you inadvertently stunt a crummy offense by forcing a guy like Pickett to have to move the ball quicker and get it out quicker? And now we start to see that, bend but don't break, but we're getting exploited underneath all day long, and the sticks keep moving. I don't know. Do you guys see it that way, or do we just let the dogs loose?
I see exactly what you're saying. And if they're coming out in a base 12, if they're coming out in 12 personnel and we're in our 34 base, Amelia, you know what that means. If we're only bringing 4, Preston Smith going to be out there. They're going to be stuck on Smith Island, baby. That's what it's going to end up being.
That's the truth.
Yeah, so I see exactly what you're saying there, Tim. That kind of seems like it's the play, right? Don't play to their strengths. Not that you don't want to get pressure, but allocate more sources to the secondary. Have 7 and 8 men in coverage, and make him sit back there and work within a clean pocket, right? And try to get pressure with maximum coverage. So
so we're not going to play prevent all day, but what's the happy medium? Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of comes back to what we were just talking about with the Rams game, where it kind of felt like they were playing the run, then the pass, right? Yep. Probably get something very similar there for sure. So let's see here. I love how everybody refers to Jonathan to Rudy Ford as Clayton's boy Ford. Man, he is. I'm the president of the Rudy Ford fan club. There's no doubt about it. I need to give me a Rudy Ford jersey. That's what I need to do.
There you go.
Hey, somebody might know the answer to this.
Grab me an Anthony Johnson Jr. one while you're at it.
Yeah, get it while the stock's low, right, my man? Get in on the floor there. Larry in the chat. Good to see you in here, Larry. He said, wasn't Josh's shoulder injury in 2021 from trying to tackle Harris? Odd that he has another shoulder injury. Whoa, is that true?
Larry.
If it was anybody other than Larry, I'd be going.
I believe it was,
I believe Larry.
And Larry's absolutely right, except Ja wasn't trying. He did. If I remember that play, he tackled the living crap out of Harris on that play, and then we all recoiled in disbelief as we saw Ja not getting up after that play. If this is the same play we're thinking of.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like if he was trying to tackle Harris or tackling Harris, as Tim pointed out, and now all of a sudden he looks up and got Harris on the board. Like, hey, you know what? That shoulder's starting to hurt a little bit this week, Coach. I think I'm gonna fit this one out.
We got to do a little digging. I thought he opted for no surgery and he just rehabbed that straight up.
I think you're right.
I could be wrong. I'm not. This is not gospel here, but that's what my understanding was.
I'll take it as gospel, Tim. I trust you, man.
Not to sound like Michael Scott. It was my understanding.
Classic.
But I think Ja did he did his stretching and PT, whatever he had to do to rehab that. I don't know, man. Is it the same shoulder? That's the other question. We got 2 shoulders. Which one's bugging him? Is it the same one that he hurt in 21?
Right. So maybe he's gonna have to flip to the other side so he hits with the other shoulder. Maybe we'll just flip flop him each game depending on how he's feeling.
Just flip it over and you know what I'm saying? All right, Larry, we're gonna dig into that, man. Appreciate you bringing that up, buddy.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I like this. Goose says battle of the sinners. Lord have mercy. Yeah, that's something.
I think our boy's gonna come out looking like a stud after this one. We'll see.
Yeah, no doubt. The whole Sean Ryan thing's fascinating. It was just the minimal amount of snaps, and with them having such a good pass rush, I think we all feel comfortable saying that John Runyon's a better pass blocker than Sean Ryan, right? So, to me, if the neck's good to go, I think I would want John Runyon out there trying to hold up against this pass rush for sure.
Experience level too, Runyon's got.
But that's also the other thing is, do we get caught in a rut? Like, hey, Runyon's been doing it. He's been the dude. He's, we're used to him. He's in there.
And then we're afraid to step somebody else up. I get what you're saying. Yeah, That's a great point.
So that's the only thing you got to think about is, was 15 snaps enough? Was it enough to give him a shot? He used to play tackle in college. So it's not like the dude doesn't know how to block. He had a run in with his issues, and that's it. I mean, if he balls out and plays football, that's all that matters. They're always talking about getting the best 5, best 8, whatever. Throw him out there, man. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at the green line real quick for all you betting junkies. Let's see what it kind of opened up. I think last I seen it was at 3.5. The Packers were 3.5-point underdogs. According to PFF, when I screenshotted this, the market was at 3, so it's +3 for Green Bay, right? And when you look at the spread, the cash, 90% of the cash is on the Steelers to cover that 3-point spread. Keep in mind, last week, the public won. The previous 2 weeks, I believe it was, Vegas won. Okay, so you got this little teetering thing going on right now. If you don't understand what that means and you're not interested, it's totally cool. It's just something we try to add into the equation here as we're going into a Sunday. And Tim, every week, man, they're right around that point spread for the most part. Last week, they were pretty far off, thank God. But for the most part, man, they've been hitting it. But tickets, like I said, 90% of the cash in the spread is on Pittsburgh. 84% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. So the public is completely on Pittsburgh the way it sits right now, right? The people's money. The money line itself just winning outright, okay? The market is at minus 176 for Pittsburgh. And it looks like the cash, 69% of the cash is on Pittsburgh and 64% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh, pretty heavy favorite to just be 3, maybe 3.5 points, right? The under is 39. We all talked about it should be a low-scoring game. I think that that's something that we could definitely just about bank on. But when you look at the under, the public is on board with that too. 97% of the cash is on the under in this game. So two offenses struggling, although like Jake said, man, you come out, you throw a couple bombs to Watson, finally get that connection in place between him and Love. Things can change, right, Tim?
Absolutely. And I think that comes with the more these guys are playing together, man. You know, I mean, I don't think it's even debatable. Clearly, you know, Jordan's the most comfortable throwing the ball to Romeo. I mean, that's the guy they have the most chemistry. But I think we're seeing it coming along with Wicks and with Reed and with Musgrave and with Scoot. Yeah, we're gonna see it, and this could be the game for it. I mean, this might go down like perfectly. I think we're gonna look back. You know, hindsight's 20/20, and Jake might have called this one like right on the money. So I hope he's right. I'm with him, and I'm looking forward to Sunday because, you know, when you see the connections happen, we see how close they were, and, you know, it's a game of inches and milliseconds, and sometimes timing's off, sometimes balls are overthrown or underthrown or late. But, you know, when they're close enough and guys are making plays, and the more you connect, the more you start to build that, you know, rapport with your receivers. And I think we're going to see that continue this week. I really do.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Dr. Meecrop did a little research and says was his right AC joint in 2021 for Jair. So
perfect. So thanks, doctor. We got the doctor let us know what's going on. Exactly. So now we got to find out which one's bugging him right now. Is it his left shoulder or his right shoulder? Right. Do a little digging.
Let me FaceTime him real quick. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Omer in the chat said, if Josh Myers don't play, I want Jenkins at center and Ryan at left guard. You know, he like I said, it was just 15 snaps, but now that we've seen a little bit of Sean Ryan and he's not, not suspended for taking a banned substance and actually got a little bit of playing time, I can't disagree with that, Tim. What do you think, man? Let's go around the horn on that topic. Let's say Josh Myers couldn't play for whatever reason, right? Who would you slide into center, and then who would you replace them with? At their position. For me, I kind of like what Omer's saying here, right? If Josh Myers wasn't playing, you slide Elton to center and throw Sean Ryan at left guard, keep Tom at right tackle, right? Yep. Keep Rashid and Yash battling for that left tackle spot. I don't think it's any coincidence that you created a competition there last week and both guys stepped up to the plate, right, at left tackle. So what do you think, Tim? What would your choice be there, man?
I mean, I hate even having to think of this scenario because I don't like the idea of Big E moving away from left guard. Same way I don't like moving Zach Tom off a right tackle. I both are not good choices, but we're talking about a scenario here where our hands forced, right? So Omer's right. I agree. I think this would be the best play, our best foot forward. Also, just a little caveat, I did see with my own eyes several times during training camp, Sean Ryan taking reps as a center. So I don't know if that's a realistic thing. That's months and months ago, and not at all during the regular season. So I'm sure they're probably past that, especially seeing him, the snaps he is playing where he's playing. But yeah, really our backup centers right now at this point would be Big E and it would be Zach Tom. And those are two guys that I particularly enjoy watching them play the positions they're playing right now. But yeah, Omer's right, man. We would almost have to do that if we don't have Josh Myers.
Mm-hmm. I second that. The only thing that would make me change my mind or think a little differently on it is every time that we've needed a center, it's been Zach Tom that goes in. So the only other option could be bring Zach Tom into center. Then we're going to have to move Ellen over to right tackle and then bring in Ryan at guard, I would say. But
or do you put Ryan back at tackle?
Ooh,
his old spot.
Do they? I mean, we're always about trying to practice and train them. If that's the option, let's do it, because then we'd rather have pass rush coming up the edge. The problem is we're going against TJ Watt and Highsmith this week. Yeah. So
if you'd rather have it off the edge, you'll get your chance.
Right. That's the problem. That's exactly it. So
Goose, I see Goose has a good point.
It is
right. JRJ to left guard and then put Ryan at right guard.
Mm-hmm.
Big ego.
I forgot JRJ played left guard. He's exactly right.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Now what we got to look at, I don't know. There's so many variables. Let's just hope. I don't even want to give this any more energy, because as much as we talk about Josh, it's like we talk so much about Josh, but it's like, man, if we lost him, boy, do things get interesting.
Of course, Goose getting toxic in here says 69. Nice. He said not as good as 65% though. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that, man. You can never have too much of that.
65%. 65%. That's what
He's so proud of himself.
That's what we want.
When Mark Murphy retires, he's going to look back on his tenure here in Green Bay, and he's going to
say, "I hate Packers total X."
He's going to go, man, that was my crowning achievement.
Y'all want to get into a little bit of let's hit this super chat here real quick before we wrap up. We got a little conspiracy for you guys. But Josh Martin, thank you for the super chat. He said, Collins or Finley, which injury set us back the most? On the count of three, I want you guys to say which one it is: Nick Collins or Jermichael Finley. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Collins. It's hands down Nick Collins.
That takes nothing away from Jermichael Finley.
Right.
That's it.
Not exactly a fan favorite or super popular with Packer fans, but a damn good tight end when he was healthy, and that cannot be understated. I just wanted to say that, but yeah, clearly Nick Collins for sure.
Mm-hmm. No, to hop off Tim's point, the fact if we had an elite tight end like that, we don't know what could have happened with Rodgers. We really don't. Like it could have been completely different. But someone to hold down the top of that defense is needed.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Josh Martin, for the super chat. Jake Shavink got a conspiracy in here. Did Finley's injury end Rodgers' throwing over the middle of the field?
Wow.
Okay, really quickly.
To
that point, Jake, I went back and watched the first game that NFL Plus has to watch. It was the 2008 season, Packers versus Eagles. The first drive, Rodgers gets under center, I formation, fakes the 22 dive, steps back, throws a ball dead center down the middle of the field to him. Like it, you never know what could have happened. We could have, it could have been a run, but Jake, you got me stirred up.
Dude, that is such a perfect question, because everyone has always said that, Rodgers doesn't go over the middle. Right. But then a lot of times we can watch film and counter that argument and go, what do you mean? He throws over the middle when he has legitimate targets to throw the ball over the middle to.
He hit Jordy down the seam so many times.
Exactly, right? Greg Jennings, right? We could talk about some of these targets that he had. But I certainly think that might have been the beginning of Rodgers looking to the boundary a little bit more after we lost Philly.
You got comfy with it. Then you get away from that. You don't use it. You don't use your left hand. You lose it. So,
no,
that's a great
Absolutely.
point.
All right, let's do this. Jacob's not here, but we're gonna key it up anyway. We're gonna do us a little conspiracy corner here. All right. All right, I don't think y'all are ready for this one, gang. There was a video that leaked out earlier today. Okay.
But are you going to run the video?
I'm gonna run the video.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Just anybody that's
All
got
right.
doesn't want to be traumatized. Be careful.
Yeah.
This is graphic.
It's come on, man. You make it sound like there's a Balls Johnson dance or something. No, it ain't nothing like that. So you guys know I'm a big Bill Belichick fan, right? Well, this one broke my heart today. So Bill Belichick, to the best of my knowledge, is 72 years old. Okay. This video surfaced earlier today. Someone's Ring door camera of Bill Belichick taking the walk of shame. And if you guys don't know what the walk of shame is, you're probably too young to know, and that's a good thing. But let's roll the tape here and tell me what you guys see here. Get them looking around. Anybody out here? We good? Let me get there. Where's my keys?
Double check.
Okay. Watch him. Ain't nobody over there. All right, yeah. Let's get to the truck. Tim, this is the greatest head coach of all time, bro.
Bro, first of all,
seems to be taking the walk of shame, right?
There are a lot of elder statesmen, Caucasian men that look just like.
All right, so this is it. We're into it now. We're into it deep. So let me ask you, Tim. Let's roll the tape. This is
roll it back.
First of all, it looks like Bill's in the hood or something. Like that is not. That is not.
Bill's in Milwaukee where you grew up, Tim. Look at this.
Second of all, no wonder he wears the cutoff sweatshirts. My man's about to bust through him. Do you see those arms, dude? Oh my god!
Hey, no, seriously, people, people will look at this and say, "Look at his back, bro." Like this dude, he's still
72. He'd be lucky to have a back like that.
Yeah, I ain't got a back like I'm 41. You kidding me?
My back hurts.
The back of a 12-year-old girl.
So you guys are going with that? This is him.
You don't think it's him, Tim? Look at this. Look right here, key in, man.
Man, I am.
Look at the girl.
First of all, that ring cam looks like. Is that did they record this with a toaster? Like
it's 1962.
No, this is the first gen ring cam. All right, we're on like 480 standard. Roll it forward. Okay, right there. Roll it just a little bit. Right there.
Tim,
look at that profile, Tim. You don't
talk to me, Tim. Talk to me. Hold up. Let's get another shot of him. We're gonna have to do a side by side.
Yeah, we might need to.
Courtrooms across the country all the time. People are on camera. They're charged with something. There you are on camera, and their attorney goes, "You can't prove that that's my client," and they get off.
You can't prove it.
All I'm saying is, I'm not saying it doesn't look like him. I'm not saying that.
Right.
I'm just saying that.
I'm loving.
It's hard to tell without his headset on.
I just want to know why is Coach Belichick in the trap, man? What's he doing, dude?
Why is he in the trap?
That is not. That is not. That doesn't look like his neck of the woods at all. That looks like a very looks like my neighborhood, guys. I'm just
Could have been the off season. Could have been preseason. You never know.
Yeah, who knows when this is from either. And then that's the other thing, Clayton. You brought up the point. Well, we know Bill Belichick didn't release this footage, so
right.
And what does somebody stand to gain by releasing it, other than? I could definitely see this. If it is him and someone was trying to blackmail him, I could totally see Coach Belichick going, "Go ahead, release the damn video." I don't care.
Yeah. Dude, who cares?
I'm not on the Twitter face or whatever he says. So he probably doesn't care. But I mean, I'm not disputing it. You guys, I mean, you're right. That looks like Coach Belichick. It does. I'm going to go McAfee. I'm going to go McAfee and say allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yes. Oh, absolutely, allegedly. Yeah. Look at the chat. It's the most active the chat's been. These bunch of toxic human beings in here. most active it's been all night. Let's see if we can find something else. I don't think that's it. I just tried to do
it is tough to tell without the cutoff on, and seeing him in that blue, it's kind of hard. But it's just the way he kind of wiggles. He's trying to just slide on out.
Looks like he's chasing a ref down the sideline, right?
I know. Saying, I mean, Emilio, you got a point, man. The lats and the guns, man. I don't know.
Right. Do we? Oh, there it is. Thank you.
All right, let's do the analysis. Let's go. Get the.
This guy parts his hair on the same side, right?
Okay, you got to just start drawing little red circles on everything.
But, yeah, look at the earlobe, right?
Is it connected? Oh, it does look connected.
Look at the nose. Hey, look at the nose. Let's focus on the nose, the tip of the nose. Tim, this is Bill Belichick, bro.
Dude, the earlobe connected.
Full Alex Jones mode right now.
The only thing that could be throwing it off is the back of the hair there. But besides that, you got the earlobes, got the nose, flat here on the face. Does he have any tattoos that we know of that we could have?
Bro, first of all,
He's
let's talk
got a
about.
neck tat right here. He's got a neck tat.
Let me tell you, man. He no shirt, nothing, just out the door, man. Something must have went down.
You can keep the cutoff sweatshirt. I'll leave that on the table for you. I'm out.
To use a football term here, I think the protection broke down. Maybe I don't know. I don't know, boys. That's looking like Bill. That's looking like my goat right there, man.
Like I said, now you're looking at one.
Can you roll it one more time?
Pull that other picture up.
This one, right?
Man, is that a crispy, crystal clear picture? Pull this other video picture.
Okay, yeah, roll it though.
All right, let's roll it. We're gonna roll.
Let's see if he faces the camera.
Let me see here. All right, here we go.
He should have rang it so that they know. Look at this.
He's like,
is this their front door?
He's definitely creeping.
Is this the front door or the back door?
My man is getting out of there.
Double check. Okay, we're clear.
Oh, see.
I love the double tape.
The double tape.
That's him, man. I'm telling you, Tim. Allegedly.
Oh, there you go. All right.
At least he was nice enough to completely close the door. Like, don't let any bugs in, any animals out.
I'm definitely in the camp that this has got to be months old.
Yeah, no, you see the green leaves for sure. And that's what gets me is like, I'll be honest. Like I said, I've watched a bunch of Bill Belichick press conferences, right? I think this is Bill Belichick. Now the question is, were they at a bed and breakfast they rented? Was it? But I'm with you guys. Like, that looks like a sketchy little neighborhood right there. Bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of concrete around there.
Context is everything, though. That's a great point. Because for all we know, there could be a perfectly legitimate explanation for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He could have just been leaving, a meeting with a prospective player, something like that. Just real casual, just meet up at the crib.
Just hang around, no shirt.
Yeah, I'm one of the guys.
All right, let's see here. Let's see what everybody's saying. Goose says the walk of shame. Omar says this is funny. Josh Martin over here trying to
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Josh, you just got to believe, man. You just got to believe. Right? Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. All right.
Oh, God.
Like this. Goose says, I'd like to rename this the Walk of Victory. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. No, you see his face. It's him. LOL. Omar said. Omar said he can see it all the way from France. He can tell.
That's the truth.
Goose 72 and still at it. I'll just put it that way. Yeah, Billy B. Come on now. See, this is what I'm worried about here. I gotta read the comments for a post.
Yeah, see, all of that, we're creating all of that other.
This is your idea.
You really just stirred it right up.
No, I'm just saying. Like, it'd be different if he walked out the door with a couple lady friends on his arm or something.
Mm-hmm.
We had some evidence of that, but I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that looks like me sometimes in the morning.
To read that comment for him, Tim. You know this.
Man, that looks like Fond du Lac Avenue in Milwaukee, bro. I love it. I love it. It's too bad we didn't have audio. If we would have heard the gunshots, we would have known for sure.
There it is.
But
it could have been mid-afternoon with that storm rolling in, too. You never know.
This is out of control. Don't read it out loud, but read the comment. We're moving on quick.
Oh, boy. Did it last that long?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. People on the podcast are going, why do I listen to this podcast? That profile for sure. Yeah, listen, I think Jake should be this chat, man.
We're going to lose Jake. Jake's going to check out here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Jake
was bringing us good points, and he's like, dude, I can't hang it. I can't do it anymore.
Jake, I just want you to know we appreciate you, man. It's been a good ride. Sure. But we completely understand, bro. You got to move on. You got to move on. Oh, man. All right, we're done here. We've lost all credibility. Other than Omar over there whispering while his wife's asleep in France in the middle of the night saying, another great show by the PTA posse. Thanks, fellas. Rocking it once again.
Brightness all the way down. And they got the
Goose. I like what Goose is saying here. He says the Bears out here on Thursday Night Football making the Packers offense look elite. That's what they're doing, man. So, all right, we're getting out of here. Final thoughts, Tim. I think I know your answer. Was it Bill or not?
Allegedly.
All right.
That's all I'm saying. I'm
gonna have to put a poll up. We're gonna have to do a poll.
Yeah.
I'll put it this way. I'm leaning towards it's Bill, but I'm gonna put the asterisk there in the quotations.
It's a very unique body style. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. It could have been Elon Musk too, though.
Right.
He's kind of got that bod too. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not top heavy; it's top built. That's what the frame is.
Built like a baseball player, man.
Oh man! All right.
I get final thoughts. Man, I'm glad there's football on Sunday, guys. I'm looking forward to this matchup. That's all I got to say. And knowing that we hopefully won't see any walk of shame videos from any of our staff after this one. But
Luke Butkus walking out.
Yeah, slips going down the steps on the ice. Jeez.
I love it, man.
Put him on the injury report.
We got to chase this down further. We need more analysis on this video.
Oh, listen, we've got the investigation has just begun, my friend. It has just begun. Parting thoughts there, Emilio.
Not much, man. I'm excited for the team. We need to put a streak together. We haven't won back-to-back games since last year sometime. I don't remember the date, but this team hasn't put back-to-back games together, and I think it'll be a good mental hurdle for them to get by if they can get through something like that. And like I said, they're going to use it as a checkpoint. They're going to use it as a memory bank. So if we can stack a few of them, maybe something can happen. And honestly, we could be the Steelers right now. We could be 5-3. The Steelers could be us. They had four quarter comebacks this year. There's a lot that, could have bounced their way, that could have bounced ours. So I'm just excited for it, and I hope we play well, protect the ball, and, play for each other.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a good game. And like I said, in a great town, a great football town, two classic organizations. I think it's going to be one of those grind them out kind of games. I'm excited to watch it. I want to give a special shout out and thanks to Josh Martin for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys were absolutely awesome tonight. One last time, Tim, you be the judge. I don't know, man.
Profile.
Using that George Washington looking profile photo.
Yeah.
He looked like you know what though? I don't know. I'm seeing that little turkey neck is kind of giving him away too.
Oh, I see it.
Oh,
little gobble gobble. Yeah.
All right. We're a glutton for punishment in here. That's just the way it is. All right, we're out, guys. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Look, the chat's lightened up. I'm afraid to look. I don't want to look. Everybody saying low score, and Romero jumped in right in time. Yeah, that's a good point. We'll end it with that. Eric Sutherland said, hope Bill's off the field game is better than what it's been on the field. It's been ugly. So with that being said, for those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. Don't get caught on the walk of shame and go back up.
The power sweep actually is the lead play in our offense.
Come to tackle, take the defensive end if he's over him. If he's not, you drive down the first man who is inside. Pull back and get him. Take the first man outside the offensive tackle. No one goes. Go right by him and field inside. If the YN has the linebacker taken out, he cuts inside. If the YN has the linebacker in, he comes all the way around. So look at this play. What we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.